Good morning. It is time for Tina Book Tuesday, episode 68, with author Lisa Prysock. I am coming to you from my dining room here in beautiful Kentucky. I've got some orange spice cinnamon tea today, and I am talking about writing time. So, when you would decide to write, if you're feeling called to be a writer. So, some people like to write in the morning. Some people like to write in the evening. Some people like to write in the afternoon or the middle of the day. Some people like to write after dinner for a couple of hours. Some people like to write late at night. And then some people like to write in the very, very early morning hours. So it doesn't really matter when you write. And I was really kind of worried about this at first because I was very aware that my creativity would flow easier when everything was done for the day. And especially when I had kids around. But eventually, an essay made its way into my path from a writing group that I belonged to. And this essay, they talked about the different writing times and how there's different things that work for different people. So this essay was written by another Christian, and I feel like it just set me free to write when I needed to. And when my creativity was really flowing and when I could focus, and I noticed I needed to write more in the evening because there would be a lot going on in the early years when my kids were around. And even since they've graduated and moved on and they're married now, um, I think that I have a tendency to still have more creativity in the evenings when the day is done and I've fed the boys dinner and all that. So I do still tend to write a lot at night. Sometimes I'll write during the day, and like this week I'm on days, and I'm trying a lot to keep my schedule more on days, but I notice my productivity isn't always what it normally is when I write at night. I seem to have a tremendous level of productivity when I write it more in the evenings and late at night. So a lot of times I would, write what I could during the day, and then in the evening after dinner was over, and then I would get back to it. I would write until like 2 or 3 in the morning and then go to sleep. And so I kind of worked a middle shift. But the important thing to know is just write whenever you can. If you're feeling called to write and you are wondering when to write, maybe you have a job, so you have to write early in the morning or a little bit in the evening before bed and more on the weekends or whatever. Do whatever works for you, because sometimes you're going to find that you're going to have to think outside the box on this. And I do have some daily word count goals. I try to get somewhere between 3,000 and 5,000 words a day. 3,000 is about average for me. 5,000 for me is usually very draining, although every once in a while I'll hit twice that amount. Depends on how hard I really was able to hit it all day. And during the day, I do find that I have more interruptions, there's more interaction going on Facebook and on social media and things like that. There are more phone calls, people ringing the doorbell at times. So I do tend to have more times when I feel like I'm interrupted during the day. And I think that's another reason why my productivity is lower when I write during the day. So for me, it really takes a combination of all those things. So a lot of times I just have to turn off my phone and just step away and keep away from it for the majority of the day and just check in once or twice a day with the social media things. So, I hope that answers the question about when is the best time to write, and I hope that you enjoyed tuning in with me for episode 68 of Tina Book Tuesday with author Lisa Prysock. I look forward to talking with you next week.